You can apply sinusoidal functions to solve real-world problems. For example, a Ferris wheel is 45 meters in diameter and is 1 meter off the ground. It goes around once every 60 seconds. And we're asked to write a function that models the height with respect to time. So if you think about a Ferris wheel, this one has a diameter of 45 meters. And the question says that this Ferris wheel is also 1 meter above the ground. So how high off the ground is the center of the Ferris wheel? I'm talking about this distance here. Well, it's going to be the radius of the Ferris wheel plus that 1 meter above the ground. So the radius is half of 45, and then I'm going to add 1 more meter. Half of 45 is 22.5, so when I add that 1 meter, it's 23.5 meters from the ground to the center of the Ferris wheel. So if I want to model the height of a certain point on this Ferris wheel, let's just say I'm going to start at this point on the Ferris wheel, right at the bottom. So my height is going to start 1 meter above the ground. So the Ferris wheel is going to start at the bottom, and it's going to travel all the way around. And according to the question, it goes around once every 60 seconds. So it's going to take 60 seconds to go from the bottom back to the bottom. So that's where it would be on my graph. So as I'm traveling on my Ferris wheel, if it takes 60 seconds to go all the way around, how long does it take to go halfway around? Well, you guessed it, 30 seconds. So where am I at 30 seconds? I'm at the highest point on the Ferris wheel. So what is the highest point? Well, it's this 45 meters plus another meter. So the highest point on the Ferris wheel is 46 meters above the ground, and it occurs halfway around the circle. So at 30 seconds, I'm at the highest point on my Ferris wheel, which was 46 meters. So if I draw a curve now, you can see my height's going to go up, then it's going to go back down. And it's going to repeat for every time around the circle. Now remember, my central axis is halfway between my minimum point and my maximum point. So that would bring me to right here on the Ferris wheel. So that central axis is 23.5 meters above the ground. That would be here on my graph. So now I have enough information to come up with an equation to model this motion. I'll start with my amplitude. Remember, that's the distance from my central axis to the maximum or minimum point. In this case, it's 22.5 meters. And that corresponds to the radius of the Ferris wheel. The next thing I'm going to look for is the shape of the graph. So if you have a keen eye, you'll notice that this just looks like an upside down cosine function, a vertical reflection of cosine. So because the amplitude is 22.5 and we have a vertical reflection of cosine, we can say that our value of A is negative 22.5. The next thing I'm going to look for is my K value. Remember, the period is equal to 360 divided by K for all sinusoidal functions. But I already know that the period is 60 seconds. It takes 60 seconds to go once around the circle. So if I rearrange and solve for K, I get a value of 6. The last thing I have to consider is that my central axis is not on the x-axis. It's been shifted up 23.5. because of that, I know that I have a c value of 23.5 in my equation. And I haven't shifted my function left or right, so I don't have to worry about a d value. So my equation is going to be the height equal to, and here's where I have to put in my a value, negative 22.5, and I'm using a cosine function. My k value is 6. I don't have a d value, but I have a c value of 23.5. So that is the equation to model the height of a point on the Ferris wheel. For this example, we're talking about a pendulum. Now, pendulums are attached to a fixed point. They have a weight at the bottom, and they'll swing back and forth from one side to the other. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the question is saying, if the pendulum starts over here, swings, and then comes back, that whole motion takes 12 seconds. The question's also saying that the pendulum swings 105 centimeters on either side of the rest position. Well, the rest position would just be where the pendulum is if it's just at rest, if it's just hanging there, so it would be straight down. So that's the rest position in the middle. So the question's saying there's 105 centimeters to this side and another 105 centimeters on the other side of that rest position. So for this problem, I'm going to say d represents the distance from that rest position in centimeters. And I'm also going to say that t represents the time in seconds. If I think about a graph for this situation, I'm going to graph distance on either side of the rest. So I'm going to say that my rest position is at 0. And my pendulum's going to swing 105 centimeters to one side and 105 centimeters to the other side, like that. So let's just say we're starting at the rest position. We're going to swing 105 centimeters to one side, we're going to go back to the rest position, and we're going to swing 105 on the other, and we're going to go back to the rest position. So this looks like a sine curve. The amplitude of this function is 105 because there's 105 centimeters from my central axis to the maximum. I haven't had to do a reflection of my sine curve, so my a value is just a positive number, so a is positive 105. The question says that the period is 12 seconds. It takes 12 seconds for a complete swing. Since my period is 12 seconds, my k value is 360 divided by 12, which turns out to be 30. My central axis hasn't been shifted up or down, so I don't have a c value, and I haven't moved my function left or right, so I don't need to have a value for d. So to model this pendulum motion, the distance from rest is equal to my amplitude, 105, and I'm basing it on the sine function. K is 30, and I don't have a c or d value, so that's my equation right there. So now that I have an equation to model this, I can answer other questions. So for example, if we're to determine the location of the pendulum after 16 seconds, I know that t equals 16. So I can just take my equation and sub in 16 for t. So I do the math inside the brackets first. And when I plug that into my calculator, I get an answer of approximately 90.9. So I can say that the pendulum is about 90.9 centimeters from the rest position. And I can also figure out when the pendulum will be at any given point. So in this example, I want to determine when the pendulum will be at its maximum. So that means D will be 105. So I can sub that into my equation for distance, and now I'm going to try to solve for time. If I divide both sides by 105, I get 1 equals the sine of 30t. So the inverse sine gets me 90. I divide both sides by 30, gets me an answer of 3 for t. So we can say that the pendulum will be at its maximum distance away from rest after 3 seconds. But you have to be careful with these types of questions. Think about the graph. It just keeps repeating over and over again. So that maximum distance that we're talking about after 3 seconds, that's right there. But you'll get there again here. And you'll get there again and again and again. Since we're starting at 0, every 3 seconds, I'll either reach the maximum, or the central line, or the minimum, or the central line, the maximum, central line, etc. every 3 seconds. So we'll reach the central line after 6 seconds, we'll reach the minimum value at 9 seconds, get back to the rest position at 12 seconds, and then back to the maximum point at 15 seconds. And the pattern just keeps going like that. So if you see the pattern, it reaches the maximum point every 12 seconds. So I can make an infinite list. It reaches the maximum point at 3 seconds, 15 seconds, 27, 39, etc. every 12 seconds.